night. We are live. Let me fix this. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, man.
President Ramaphosa says Slovakia has been asked to mediate in ending Russia's war on Ukraine. That's after a telephonic conversation with Russia's President Vladimir Putin, which took place yesterday. Ramaphosa said on Twitter that he'd spoken to Putin to gain an understanding of the situation that's unfolding between Russia and Ukraine. For more on this, then, we're joined tonight by Advocate Sipho Mandula. He's with the Tabomeki African School of Public and International Affairs. Advocate, a very good evening to you. Welcome
Tonight on the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. Well, what happened when the so-called powerful white man on the West can no longer use his power up against some tyrant he claims on the East? Well, you call up the black man. And then plus, and I'm going to miss the Black News Channel. Oh, man, I'm going to miss a lot of these bootlicking Negroes on the Black News Channel. I'm going to miss Marc Lamont Hill. I'm going to miss that beautiful, sexy-ass Sharon Reed. I'm going to miss all of the bootleg Negroes that have been just, carrying water for white supremacy. Carrying water. Making sure that the water don't spill on their toes. The Black News Channel is through. But we're not. The Lawyer Henderson podcast show is live. The Black News Channel is closing its doors for good, its founder has stated, after failed to basically abortion and also failed to basically bring in more revenue and ad revenue. We'll get to that in just a moment. Thank you for joining us on the Henderson podcast show. I'm your host, your gracious host. I am Lawyer Henderson for Lawyer Henderson TV. Before we get to that, we're going to be talking about the conflict in Ukraine. Now, they're saying that the South African president basically have been called in, they said last week, to basically help to negotiate between Ukraine and Russia, you see. And we're like, wait a minute, why is the West and all these other so-called powerful white presidents in the West, like UK, Boris Johnson, all these folks, why they're calling on the black man to negotiate any kind of ceasefire as it relates to Russia and Ukraine? Putin was very clear when he said that that the country is getting all of the neo-Nazis out there. And it was Willie D. He reporting that he was reporting on his channel that a lot of Ukrainians will basically call you the N-word. They was like, Ukrainians are very racist people. It's filled with neo-Nazis. These people hate black people. They hate black folks. And they will call you a nigger in a minute. Now, a lot of people were like making up excuse for the Ukrainians in their racism. Now, as you know, on this channel and other black channels, we basically been showing you images of them telling black women with kids, hey, You can't get on the bus. This is for white people only. This is for Ukrainians. You got to get off and you got to walk. So we've shown that even at the time of war, how white people can be racist. And so these Ukrainians, well, actually the South Africans, they're getting a wake up call about how these people were acting. Now, as we came on, we were showing you a clip where they were saying that South Africa president have been called in to try to negotiate any kind of ceasefire because South African president he has a good relationship with Putin. Cyril Ramaphosa. I can't say his first name. I think it's Cyril Ramaphosa. Said he's been called in to mediate. The conflict between Ukraine and Russia. And let's just basically listen to some more pieces here, and we'll then come back to discuss. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And we'll come back and discuss. And again, the Black News Channel, we also have that as well. Thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen.
Has been asked to mediate in ending Russia's war on Ukraine. That's after a telephonic conversation with Russia's President Vladimir Putin, which took place yesterday. Ramaphosa said on Twitter that he spoke to Putin to gain an understanding of the situation that's unfolding between Russia and Ukraine. More on this then, we're joined tonight by Advocate Sipho Mandula. He's with the Thabo Mbeki African School of Public and International Affairs. Advocate, a very good evening to you. Welcome to the
Now, I'm not going to bore you with all of what they did the interview, but luckily I basically listened to them. Basically, let me tell you guys what's going on in the world. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Oh, it's going to be some trying days, man. We're coming to the time where white people in the West, it's no longer going to be telling folks what to do. They're no longer going to be influence the world. Like Putin basically got China. He got African countries. Remember, there were 16 African countries that abstained, I should say, at the United Nations Council. They basically didn't want to really vote on the war. They didn't want to denounce Putin at the United Nations Security Council. So this is really, really, really getting out of control. And Putin is saying if anybody interfere with this war, then they're going to be a huge, they're going to face consequences like they've never faced before. Now, let me just tell you that this is the beginning of World War III, because you got your stupid boy Joe Biden, as stupid as he is. He's up there engaging what the U.S. always have engaged in, and that's what we call proxy wars, where they're given annual ammunition, they're giving them guns and stuff like that. Remember, America did that in the Vietnam War. Now, people basically are scared. We had like a female, a lot of females basically who was supposed to be called up for war. They were basically saying how that they've been called up to go to Poland. And this one guy, he did an interview. Well, he showed us an interview where the female was scared. She was really scared. She was, she sat and took the government's $50,000 to sign up to go to war. And now, you on this video twerking or whatever. And now, things had hit the fan, and she basically now had been called up to go to war. So don't just go out and buy a BMW with the government's money and expect, you're going out twerking and expecting that you're not going to get called up when these people need you. You see what I'm saying? So now she did a video or a TikTok video saying, you guys got to be sensitive to service people because we don't know if we're coming back. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's, like I said, that's what you sign up for. You sign up to join these people wars. Now, like I said before, I don't have kids, but I would disown any of my kids if they joined the army. Because I really don't want them basically losing their lives over fighting somebody else's fight. I mean, we as black folks, come on, we got to stop, this foolishness here. But everybody got their own opinion. But no, but this war basically is World War III. It's going to really get very much out of control. Putin is already trying to make sure that he bring other people like from Syria to fight with Russia. And the white media keep on trying to undermine. The white media is trying to undermine the situation. They're trying to say, oh yeah, Putin didn't think that the Ukrainians were going to resist him. Putin didn't think, look at this, all of his his army generals are dying and stuff like that. Well, they killed people in Iraq. I mean, in Afghanistan. So what Putin is doing is he's doing the same thing that Bush is doing, Bush that done in Afghanistan and Iraq. So it is basically it is going to get out of control. We're going to be entering World War III here. And the only thing that possibly can save it if that Putin people on the east, like China basically is not caring. But if China and South Africa and India, see, Russia has China, then they have India, right? Saudi Arabia is not calling Jim Crow Joe back. Saudi Arabia said, no, we're not calling Jim Crow Joe back. And Jim Crow Joe is trying to meet over there in Saudi Arabia, right? And Saudi Arabia said, man, I don't want this food coming over here. You know what I mean? Nobody is respecting America anymore, man. This is going to be problematic. If you sign up for the war to go and fight, if you sign up, you got to go, right? You got to be the first one to put on the boots and the fatigues because, hey, you're the one that signed up, right? You're the one that went and said, hey, I'm going to take this money that the government, the army people are giving us, and giving me, right? And I'm going to spend it and I'm going to buy this and I'm going to buy that. And then when you get that phone call, hey, it's time to go to war. Hey, that's your fault. That is your fault, man. So it doesn't seem like we're in day 32 of the war, right? 32. This is 32 days. That's a month now in 3 days, I would say. So when you look at that and you see that it's not stopping no time soon, they said that if they're guessing right, that if nothing divert this course, that the war could last for 4 years. Okay. They could last for 4 years, guys. That is going to be real problematic for the U.S. If the war lasts for 4 years, that's going to be real problematic. Okay. So, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? But now for a moment of silence, guys. Oh my God. Black News Channel. Why did you have to go? Why did you have to go, Black News Channel? Oh, I love the bootlicking Negroes from the Black News Channel. Why you have to go? No, we're glad you're gone, Black News Channel. We're glad you're gone. And the reason why we're glad you're gone, because you did not, you were not really real Black news. The Black News Channel, man, y'all was supported by an Indian person guy who is the Jacksonville Jaguar owner, Shahid Khan. He is the NFL owner of football game who owns the Jaguars, the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, these folks in Florida. You know. But man, the Black News Channel, we're going to read the article and then we're going to come back and discuss. After I finish reading the article, we're going to talk about why this network had failed. This network had failed. We're going to talk about it, guys. But hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, hit the share button. You know what I'm saying? We got people in the chat room. Come on, keep on chatting. Let me know what you think about the war in Ukraine. Let me know about what you think about the Black News Channel losing it. Closing its doors. They basically was not getting a lot of people and viewership. Let us know what you think about that. Mhm. Mhm. And so here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And I would give credit to the Associated Press. This article, March 25th, 2022. The Black News Channel has pulled the plug after two-year-old venture failed to meet payroll and lost the backing of its bigger investor. Princell Hare, the company's president and CEO, told employees Friday in a memo that their news network was ceasing live production and would file for bankruptcy. BNC was available in some 50 million homes with cable and satellite, but had failed to attract many viewers. Let me stop right there. Okay, we all know that cable and satellite TV is not the thing of the past. The thing right now. That was in the past. The future is online. The future is streaming services like Netflix is doing and others. But anyway, it goes on to say that the network, founded in 2020 by former GOP Congressman J.C. Watts, hired more than 250 Black journalists and production personnel last year in relaunch following an investment by Jacksonville Jaguars owner Shahid Khan. But it was consistently losing money despite two rounds of layoff, and Khan decided to stop investing in its future. It currently 3 weeks short of payroll, a company spokesman said. Now let's stop right there. J.C. Watts, come on. J.C. Watts have not been blacker than black, and black has been on black, if that makes sense. I actually met J.C. Watts, man. He's not nobody to really, come on, to launch a so-called Black News Channel. But anyway, I can't wait to continue my critique here. But it was consistently losing money despite two rounds of layoff, and Khan decided to stop investing in a future. It is currently 3 weeks short of payroll, a company spokesman said. Hare, former CNN executive, took over and relaunched last year. BNC brought on contributors like Charles Blow, a columnist at the New York Times, and commentary Marc Lamont Hill. Correspondents were stationed in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. The end came even as BNC recorded its biggest audience ever this week with its live coverage of the Judiciary Committee hearing for U.S. Supreme Court nominee Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Harris said. He told employees that their contribution had been remarkable, but due to challenging market conditions and global finance pressures, we have been unable to meet our financial goals, and the timeline afforded to us has run out. Establish a network is particularly tough at the time when consumers have so many choices and many are cutting cable or satellite cords. Remember that we build something great here, Harris said in a memo. BNC or something very close to it will surely return at some point because the world needs it. And all of you have proven it can be done. Okay, let me stop right there. No, I don't know what world you're talking about, but the Black world did not need your channel. But anyway, let me finish. News of BNC shutdown was first reported by the Los Angeles Times. The National Association for Black Journalists said Friday that it was looking at ways to help members that were thrown out of work by the shutdown. This story has been updated and corrected in the name of Black News Channel's chief investor. He is Shahid Khan and not Shahid Khan, whatever that means. Okay. So Black News Channel shut down the days after rating high. Now, here's the thing, okay? Black News Channel was a Democratic shield. Black News Channel was not a channel for Black people. And then on their website, they had Black and to serving Black and Brown communities. You see, the bootlicks don't get any kind of thinking in this brain of theirs. They don't basically listen to what the Black grassroots are talking about here. We do not want to partner with anybody else as far as a so-called Black and Brown coalition. The Black News Channel was a disgrace to the Black community. Nobody was flipping and turning on there. Secondly, you're on cable and satellite. 50% of millennials and Gen X's are not on cable and satellite. They're not sitting there watching television anymore. They're on their phones, right? They're on their iPads. They're not looking at no television. So you can't get the advertising dollars that you're wanting, and especially Biden and the government. They're already discriminating against the Black news networks anyway, as far as it relates to advertising dollars. That's another thing. Roly Poly Martin was basically crying about that. All of these folks are Democratic shills. Now, the only reason why I tuned in just a little bit just to see how they were going and how they were doing is because that fine-ass Sharon Reed was on there. But when she was not on there, I said, no, I can't watch this. And they had some other, sexy women on there too. But of course, they brought in the older crowd. These were older people. These were Black folks who don't have a relationship with the Black grassroots. They don't have a relationship with Black people in general. And his fool knew this as well. He knew that when he put this $50 million up, that he basically went out and got Black folks that was on these cable networks and contributing like CNN, all these folks. Nobody is listening to the white media. The only reason why the white media stays afloat, as one person in the Black grassroots had pointed out, is because the government, Biden administration, fund these people, CNN and Fox News. They are funded. That's the reason why they stay afloat. But when you look at it, nobody watches the mainstream media no more. They're getting their news online. They're getting their news for the Black grassroots. They're getting their news online on YouTube or on other social networks and platforms, right? We are the news makers. It's not the bootlicks like Roly Poly Martin. It's not the Marc Lamont Hills, right? It is none of these folks. None of these people basically is doing anything for the Black community. Another reason why they failed is because they were bringing on people talking about Black immigrants or LGBT agenda, or if it wasn't that, they were talking about Democrats and voting and stuff like that. And that basically made us feel some type of way. It was almost like you all trying to be a CNN. I mean, you went and got all of their people, these people who are on cable networks contributing, but standing alone, they cannot run a cable network. These people who this Khan dude had, he brought all the so-called big names in cable television and network, but none of them have a relationship with the Black community. We have not seen J.C. Watts in a community for a long time. Okay, we have not seen Sharon Reed into the Black neighborhoods. We haven't seen Charles Blow. These folks don't have a relationship with Black people in general, right? So they don't have no kind of power within the Black community. They're not going to bring you viewers. You see, this channel was supposed to move Black people in a direction where it was supposed to be some LGBT agenda met. It was supposed to be some immigrant agenda met. It was supposed to be voting for the Democrats. All of this stuff was basically was organized by these folks who thought that they had the grassroots, and they thought that they had Black folks in general, and they didn't. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, folks. So let this be a lesson to you. You see, we're still alive. We're not looking for a job for the white media. We don't care about that. We don't want to be on the white media's platforms because we know that we have to fake it. We know that we're not going to be able to talk and speak truth to power. And so, therefore, that's the reason why we're building our own platform. YouTube is not going to be the only platform that we're going to have. We're going to have to expand, and we're going to expand into other types of digital platform, and perhaps even making our own platform because YouTube basically is not reliable. Patreon may not be reliable. But these bootlicking Negroes who thought that they were going to carry water for white supremacy, they're getting their wake-up call, and they should have already got it. You see, we're no longer participating. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing that you have to understand respectfully. Okay, the civil rights generation back in the 90s were running the yard, right? And so now the civil rights generation had their eldest children. Okay, we're talking about black people 47 to about 58 or 59. See, this is the civil rights generation, older children, their eldest children. These are the kids who hung out with the civil rights generation. These are the kids that we basically now is trying to do the same thing that the civil rights generation is doing. But we 45 and downward, we recognize what the civil rights generation and their eldest children is trying to do. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to get token jobs from their white paymasters, and that's not working for us because we have basically educated ourselves to think outside of what the civil rights generation used to think. See, we didn't have online resources back in the 80s and 90s when the civil rights generation was running things, right? And now their eldest children with social media is trying to get us to believe and think the same way, and we're rejecting that. And they're not understanding why. They're not understanding, and it's very clear. You see, the white supremacists try to get these bootlicking Negroes who they basically paid off to try to see if they can influence the black grassroots and black people in general, and they just cannot get the job done because they're on our channel. They're in our comments. They're no longer going to be listening to these fools who've been carrying water for white power. And that's the issue. You see, that's the reason why Screw 2 messes with our algorithm. That's the reason why Screw 2 has to then suspend our channels. They have to mess with our comments. They have to destroy and basically take away subscribers. They have to basically make sure that they keep us supplanted because nobody is listening to these other types of foolish channels where they're not talking about what black folks really need to be doing. You see, the world star hip hop crowd, see, they're basically slowly waking up, but they're still over there asleep, right? So it is our job in the black grassroots to basically make sure that they get the information that they need. Black News Channel was not able to do that. Okay, Charles Blow do not have a relationship with the black people. Sharon Reed, like I said earlier, don't have a relationship with black people. J.C. Watts and all these older black folks, they don't have any connection with regular black folk. You understand? And so that's the reason why they failed. I don't want to beat a dead horse, of course, and so therefore, I just don't want to say no more. But in that, one of the things that they said in this particular piece is that at some point they'll try to relaunch again. Come on, come on. You're not going to get the same black folks because those black folks are going to know that you're just going to fail again because we don't want an LGBT agenda or immigrant agenda mixed on to us. We as black folks are our own. and we're going to remain that. And we just don't want other people giving us an agenda that we just don't support. And that's it. Okay. Now, I would say this: the Black News Channel for 2 years, you tried to basically do it, right? Right. And it's unfortunate that out of the 203 employees that they lost, that this man is not giving them their severance pay. He didn't give them that. He didn't basically. He said that their health care benefits is going to end. I'm like, oh man. They had a lot of white male employees. There was a gender discrimination lawsuit that was filed. There were some women complaining that the white male counterparts would get more money than them. So the Black News Channel, man, they've been really, for 2 years they've been having all of that chaos going on. So it was a mess. What you have to do is you got to really get Black people to run their own media. It's going to really work. You see, when Robert Johnson founded BET, it worked for a while, but when he started to give it up, it just went downhill. You see what I'm saying? Black people should be owning Black media, and we should be speaking truth to power, and we should be giving our people what they need, the doses what they need in order to move the race forward. You've been listening to the Lawyer Henderson podcast. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And leave your comments, because I may be wrong. But take care. I'm out. Peace.